Fresh off his overseas trip, President Trump this morning putting pressure on Republicans to end the shutdown. Posting overnight, it's now time for the Republicans to play their Trump card, calling for an approach they've resisted so far, the so-called nuclear option, which would allow Republicans to pass bills with a simple majority rather than the 60 votes, which requires them to work with Democrats. Both sides have been resistant to that move in the past, fearing it gives the majority party too much power.
The 60-vote threshold has protected this country.
It comes as the shutdown is now entering its 31st day. Members of the military were set to miss a paycheck today, but the White House announcing it will move around $5 billion in federal funds to make sure they're still paid. Still, many federal workers struggling, some filing for unemployment for the first time, with more than 8,800 filed new claims last week alone, according to the Labor Department data reviewed by NBC News. Food banks in demand in Washington, D.C. and throughout the country. At the stroke of midnight on Saturday, the federal government is scheduled to halt all SNAP food assistance.
Without SNAP, it's going to be hard to find food that's able to feed us.
It's a problem members of Congress recognize, but fail to have an answer for.
You're messing with people's lives. That is outrageous.
Instead, the two sides engaged in a high-stakes blame game. Democrats pushing to pass a standalone bill to extend SNAP benefits, arguing the administration must release billions in already approved contingency funds. Republicans dismissing the bill as political theater, but Democrats argue that the country is on the verge of a healthcare crisis, and backing down will cause even more damage.
The talks will go nowhere if Republicans remain completely intransigent and resistant to any compromise on extending the health care coverage.
And even though President Trump is now calling for his Republican colleagues to go around Democrats by nuking the filibuster, that's something that can't happen anytime soon because lawmakers have already left Washington, meaning they can't come back until the beginning of next week. We are approaching much closer to that record-breaking government shutdown of more than 34 days. And with no end in sight, food bank distribution centers like this across the country are going to find the companion stress of dealing with people in need and those that are running out of their SNAP benefits.
I hope this is a wake-up call for most people to divest themselves and detach themselves from depending on the federal government for you to feed yourself. I didn't even know anything about this whole filibuster thing, and that he could go around it. I didn't know anything about this. This is all 100% brand new to me. I wasn't aware of this. So what y'all telling me is that the Democrats really never had any leverage whatsoever, but they was pretending like they had leverage. So the real leverage is the fact that Trump can really hit the button and go around Democrats and do whatever it is that he wanted to do based off of the fact that they still control the majority. And so, yeah, I'm hearing about it. I just pulled up an article where it says that it's called the nuclear option also, Eric D. Let me review this one right here.
President Trump is calling on Republicans to change the rules in the Senate to reopen the government. Trump posting overnight, it is now time for the Republicans to play their Trump card and go for what is called the nuclear option. Get rid of the filibuster and get rid of it now. The move would allow Republicans to pass a bill to fund the government with a simple majority instead of the 60 votes currently needed. But Senate Majority Leader John Thune has warned against this move, saying it could come back to bite Republicans whenever Democrats take power back. Meanwhile, millions of Americans feared their food assistance.
Whenever Democrats take power back. So wait a minute. Their warning is, listen, guys, if you use the nuclear option and you go around us and you basically reopen the government and push this thing through anyway, then I'll be careful because we may be able to use it whenever we decide to take, whenever we get back in office, we may do the same thing. Well, here's my thing. If you are warning Republicans and saying, hey, well, if you do this, then A, B, C, and D, I'm a little confused because Republicans didn't shut the government down when it came to Biden pushing through and keeping the government open and making sure the government had been funded. It was threats to, it came nowhere near to this level. So y'all had an opportunity to now get with the president of the United States of America and then negotiate after you kept the government funded temporarily, but you decided to stand 10 toes down. Now you're warning them and saying, hey, if y'all use a nuclear option to get this thing open and to make sure that people still get their government benefits and that we fund air traffic controllers, because I got a flight tomorrow and I got a tight schedule. I'm going to be honest with you. I have a tight schedule tomorrow. And the last thing that I can deal with is a delay, because if everything goes smooth, then I'm definitely going to have one of the biggest interviews of the year, and it's going to come at the perfect time. It's absolutely going to come at the perfect time. And so it's a lot of money on the line. It's a lot of things happening, a lot of moving pieces, and that's just on my own personal thing. I got a flight to Croatia. The last thing I need is a delay, because, you got to always do a layover. And so there is no direct flights from Detroit to Croatia. So for me to be able to get through and take care of business, if y'all start fucking up the money and y'all start fucking up the bag, then we going to have a problem. We absolutely going to have a problem. And so I know that there's people that got way bigger problems than me, right? I know people that can't feed their families. And I ain't talking about the people, yeah, I'm a vlog the whole time. I've been vlogging every day. So I got a lot of content that I'm editing through. I'm going to edit some stuff on a plane and drop it for y'all tomorrow. But it's people that got bigger issues than me. And I ain't even talking about the people that got food stamps, that's waiting on food stamps. I'm talking about people that, Croatia is beautiful, Sugar Shane. You need to open up your mind. He said, who wants to go to Croatia? And then he started laughing. You must not know. Listen. Y'all have to get out of your bubble. You have to get out of your bubble. There are places in the world outside of the Dominican Republic and fucking Mexico and Canada. You have to go to other places that you've never been to before. Croatia is supposedly one of the most beautiful places, especially when it comes to, I'm not going to deep dive into that. But I heard that Croatia is gorgeous. Are y'all limiting yourself? Is that the thing that y'all doing? Y'all only go back and forth to Tulum? We'll get there. But the point is that there are people that have been working for almost a month. There are people that have been working for a month and have not got a paycheck. TSA agents, air traffic controllers, people that work for the federal government, essential employees, they've been working for a month. And they have not been able to get a paycheck. And so there's people that have much bigger problems than me, and yet you got the Democrats that's basically holding it. Let me tell you what the Democrats is doing at this point, honestly. They're anticipating that now that I'm starting to recall a lot of the conversations, when you think about it, when you think about Jasmine Crockett, Chuck Schumer, Bernie Sanders, AOC, they've been saying, hey, they the ones that control all three branches of government. I mean, I know they need 60 votes, but this is on them. They throwing it into the Republicans' lap. And Democrats is not going to be able to recover from this, in my opinion, in my lifetime. It would take a massive fumble on a historic front for Democrats to be able to get back to people that's leaving their party. People are not fucking with Democrats right now, bro. And every single month, it seems like more and more people defect. If Trump hit the button and opened back up the government and the Democrats didn't participate in it, it's over for y'all. It's up. Time is up for y'all. If Trump hit the button, listen to what I'm saying. If Trump hit the button, the nuclear option, and they open up the federal government and you guys didn't participate, that's it. Y'all not going, Eric D, I disagree with you. You said it shows that the Dem strategy is working. Yeah, working against them. It's working against them. If the Republicans have to do everything on their own and they hit the button and they open up the federal government and they start feeding people again and people start getting their paychecks and the Democrats didn't have anything to do with it, you know that it's going to go left for them. It's just going to go left. It's going to go 100% left. In no scenario does this work out for Democrats.
Or SNAP benefits will run out tomorrow as the government shutdown drags on.
I've gone to social media to ask for help from everyone that I could possibly think of.
It now appears a federal judge hearing
You didn't ask for all of the help you need.
Everyone that I could.
You didn't listen. Shout out to all of my big bags, because let me tell you something. Y'all wasn't anticipating having to use what you got to get what you want, and the price of the brick is going down. So y'all have to compete with chicks that's much, much more skinnier and in a better space and better fit for the task. I know a couple women personally. They said, "I'm going home." They said, "I'm going home. I ain't about to be out here. I can't. I know what chick that's an air traffic controller, and she ain't doing no Uber. She ain't doing no DoorDash. She said, She was thinking about leaving her situation and going to greener pastures. She said, it ain't no greener pasture right now. She said, you know what? God told me to stay put and to stay with my man. Going home. She ain't asked everybody. It's about to be a recession out here. I'll tell you that much. It's definitely about to be a recession. When it hurts so bad. Ain't that what Lauryn Hill says? When it hurts so bad.
Possibly think of.
It now appears a federal judge hearing a lawsuit over emergency funding may step in. Judge Indira Talwani saying right now Congress has put money in an emergency fund for an emergency, and it's hard for me to understand how this isn't an emergency. Republicans argue it's not that easy.
If they transfer funds from these other sources, it pulls it away immediately from school meals and infant formula.
The judge dismissing the administration's explanation, saying, I want agency action, not lawyering. We're not going to make everyone drop dead. The judge could compel the administration to release the funds, but whether the Trump administration will comply remains to be seen. And even if it does, the emergency funding available would still fall short of the monthly SNAP payouts. Back on Capitol Hill, Democrats digging in, refusing to open the government until Republicans agreed to extend Obamacare subsidies to prevent health care insurance premiums from skyrocketing next year. A Utah woman we spoke to says even with the subsidies, her premium next year will rise from $495 to $753. And without the subsidies, it will more than quadruple to more than $2,100.
We can't afford to double what it costs for us to live just to have health insurance.
Republicans argue the Affordable Care Act, which set up Obamacare, was a bad law that drives up premiums and strains doctors.
What is TrumpRX? I just pulled this up and I'm trying to better understand because I heard that Mark Cuban was praising Trump's effort in creating TrumpRX. Mark Cuban is a flip-flopper also. Have y'all heard anything about this?
Billionaire entrepreneur Mark Cuban out with some rare praise for the Trump administration surrounding its efforts to lower drug prices. Bertha Coombs spoke exclusively with Mr. Cuban. Joins us now from the Health USA conference in Las Vegas. Bertha.
Hey, David. Yeah, you know, Mark Cuban has really been on a mission to bring down drug prices. That's what Cost Plus is all about. And he feels that the Trump administration is really making a good start at trying to combat that with Most Favored Nation and with TrumpRX. And in fact, he's all in when it comes to TrumpRX right now.
We gave him our API. You know, they're going to be a referral site. We're feeding them daily updates because with Cost Plus, as our volumes go up and our prices go down, we pass through those savings. And so it'll be great for us. We're really excited about it. I think it's a great thing. This administration completely different. I'm not saying I'm a Donald Trump fan now, but credit where credit is due. They are trying their best to reduce the cost of prescriptions and of health.
Okay, so I get it. So TrumpRX is basically a marketplace that allows for people to be able to shop and reduce the amount that they paying for healthcare and prescription prices or prescription drugs, right? Now, Mark Cuban, who was adamantly against the Trump administration and had all of the things to say when he endorsed Kamala Harris for president of the United States of America, has now jumped back on the bandwagon like Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith jumped off of the bandwagon when he was on a Republican bandwagon. And Mark Cuban is jumping on the bandwagon and working with the Trump administration to make sure that they reduce the amount that they paying in prescription drugs. All right, I get it. Whatever. That's what people do. That's what business people do. They're going to flip-flop and they're going to change their position depending on what suits them best. Got it. Now, in addition to that, let me say this. I think that our healthcare system is broken. I believe that Eric D, I know you said Mark Cuban has been working for years to lower drug prices. I agree because he has a company that benefits from it. And so I think that he should be rewarded if he's able to create a marketplace that helps people lower their prescription drug prices. What I'm saying, Eric D, is he said some of the craziest things about the Trump administration. He has some of the most negative things to say. He was not talking anything like this before. Can two things be true at the same time? Absolutely. Eric D says, oh, please, J.D. Vance flip-flopped on Trump. 100%. But see, J.D. Vance came back to the front of the congregation and admitted that he was wrong about Trump. He didn't hide. See, it's okay for people to change their perspective. You grow, you learn, you adjust according to what you see happening in real time. But see, if you don't admit that you were wrong in the first place from the things that you did, then that's when it sounds like you a grifter. Or that's when it sounds like, hey, okay, so they was working with you because they wanted your endorsement so that they can become president of the United States of America. J.D. Vance said, I was wrong. This is what I thought after he became president. This is my opinion of him now. And so this is why I've changed my perspective. I was wrong about Trump. Mark Cuban is just flip-flopping because he said it was no way that Trump was supposed to be successful when it came to him having a second term as the United States president. He called him dumb. He called him stupid. He said they didn't know what they was doing. He said all of this stuff. Now, all of a sudden, you know what? Trump is great. You know what? These guys are really working with us. Just admit that he was wrong. Come on, Eric D. I know you listen. You've been pretty reasonable lately, but today you want one. Today you want one, Eric D. Just be reasonable and just say, listen, I was wrong. All he had to do was say, I was off on that one. You know what? I apologize. I was off on that. I did it when I went up to Fresh and Fit. I said, you know what, guys? I know y'all not telling me to. The very, very first 30 seconds in the stream, I said, you know what, guys? Let me be a man about this and own the fact that I did not reach out to you guys to better understand your position. And I jumped on the bandwagon because it seemed like y'all was wrong and it was a popular thing to do at the time. And my friends was doing it. And so I was not thinking and having my own mind. So I have to give you guys an apology because now we have the opportunity to figure it out and learn. And so I was wrong. And so I apologize about that. There's nothing wrong with changing your perspective, but when you're wrong, you should at least admit that you're wrong, right? No, that's not the way that men do things. That's not how we do things. When we wrong, we don't, Dizzy, I ain't gonna do that. We just gonna rock out. Let me hear the rest of what Mark Cuban had to say, because I remember he was
care and of insurance. Now, they know when I talk to them that all these things I just mentioned to you are the core issues. And what they're doing with TrumpRX will help but it's just superficial, right? It's not going to have.
Hold on.
Someone like Donald Trump use his platform not to do any semblance of good, but rather to kind of vilify people that so that he can help himself politically.
Yeah, that's the Roy Cohn school of management, right? You demonize and demonize and demonize and give credit to nobody else. And that is the antithesis of good leadership. That's the antithesis of good character. That's the antithesis of being ethical. That's who Donald Trump is. I've known him for 25 years. I'm never going to say we were best friends, but he is the most unethical, lacks character, dishonest person I've ever done business with or worked with.
Cool.
About it. I think it's he's gave them our API. You know, they're going to be a referral site. We're feeding them daily updates because with Cost Plus, as our volumes go up and our prices go down, we pass through those savings. And so it'll be great for us. We're really excited about it. I think it's a great thing. This administration completely different. I'm not saying I'm a Donald Trump fan now. But credit where credit is due. They are trying their best to reduce the cost of prescriptions and of healthcare and of insurance. Now, they know when I talk to them that all these things I just mentioned to you are the core issues. And what they're doing with TrumpRX will help, but it's just superficial, right? It's not going to change the game and change everybody's lives, right? But at least I give them credit for trying.
That's what he talked about. He said TrumpRX